So today we're in our Chemical Guys Detailing Center, and we're going to talk today about rotary polishing. Now, I often get a lot of questions from students or detailing enthusiasts that want to know my personal experience and my tips and tricks on how to use a rotary polisher. Now, I think of the rotary polisher as the true art form of detailing. It takes a lot of talent, a lot of practice, and a lot of skill. I'm going to give you a lot of the tips and tricks that I've learned over the years to help rotary polishing be easy and get fantastic results. Now, the rotary polisher has been around for 100 years. It's the choice of body shops, professional detailers, and hardcore enthusiasts that want to take their paint to the next level. But the rotary polisher has no built-in safety features like a dual-action polisher, so if you don't know how to use the machine right, it can give you a lot of problems. If you do know how to use the machine right, it can be an awesome tool and can really help your detailing excel. Now, using a rotary polisher is 90% technique. It's all about using the right technique to achieve the right results with the rotary polisher. So today I'm going to tell you all the techniques that I've learned over the years with years of detailing experience to show you exactly how the rotary polisher works. So this is the rotary polisher right here. A rotary polisher, we sell a variety. This is my personal preference, the Flex P14-2. It's one of my personal favorite rotaries. It has a very well balanced machine and is really smooth on the paintwork. I also have one of our Smart Detailing University practice hoods. This is a demonstration hood that we use to practice. We can scuff it up and show our perfect technique on how to get the job done with the rotary. Now I'm going to first break down a few tips and tricks on how to start with the rotary, so hopefully it'll help you if you're just getting into rotary polishing or you're an experienced detailer that wants to learn some new tips and tricks on how to take your polishing to the next level. So first, let's start out with preparing our body. I first like to prepare my body to hold the machine. This machine's very powerful, so if you try to fight the machine, it's going to fight you back. So the first thing I like to do is I like to keep my shoulders relaxed. Stretch them out, make them feel relaxed, as long as my upper arm is relaxed as well. I want that all to be relaxed and have a nice feel. I want to be able to move around slowly and easily with no pressure. I can also keep my forearms tight and my back tight. That gives me a nice control of the machine with my loose shoulders and my tight lower back. I can support myself, but I also have the smooth feel to move the machine around, and if the machine gives any vibration, it's going to be absorbed by my loose shoulders. So now let's talk about the machine. Now the machine has a lot of settings on the machine. It's 6 settings. There's a lot of different rotaries out there, Makita, Flex, Hitachi, and several other different machines, but this is my personal preference, which we're going to use as the Flex today. Now, before you want to get started, you want to make sure that your pad is centered. With a rotary polisher, it's very important to center your pad. So easily set it on a microfiber towel, center out the pad, give it a turn on and make sure that it's not wobbling or has any excess vibration. This one's ready to go right now. Now also I'm going to go ahead and break down the machine polishes. There's a lot of different pads and polish combinations that you can choose. If you want to learn about the pad and polish combinations, check out our other awesome videos on our YouTube channel. Subscribe. We have over 450 detailing videos on how to do everything detailing as well as polishing. We also have several other dual action polisher videos which go in depth on selecting the correct pad and polish for your job. Now let's talk about holding the machine. Now the rotary machine is ambidextrous, so you can actually hold it with your right hand on the base, or you can hold it with your left hand on the base. It might be a little bit more difficult to control the dial with your left hand because it's set up for a right-handed feel on this machine, but it will go both ways. Even sometimes in other positions, when I'm in a weird spot, I might trade positions to get the job done right. So let's talk about the machine and the technique we're going to use today. Now with the rotary polisher, the #1 goal is to keep the machine flat at all times. As you can see, the machine is flat at all times, and that means that the body of the machine is parallel with the hood. If the body is angled, we would angle the machine so that the machine is parallel with the hood. As well as the machine being parallel with the hood, you want to make sure that the pad is 100% flat. Key things not to do when using the rotary. Do not hold the rotary like this or put pressure on the rotary. This creates a hot spot on the top edge of the pad. Also, do not tilt the rotary back. You might see some people tilting. If there is a gap in the pad on the surface, you're creating another hot spot on the back. Also, do not angle the pad in any way. Keep the pad flat as much as possible. If you come to a smaller area, like the side of the hood, switch to a smaller pad or work in a small area. Also, do not go over body lines. One of the main goals is to not go over body lines to prevent paint damage. If you overhang the machine off the pad it can create a burn mark on the edge. That's why on this body line right here, which is very sharp, you do not hold the machine on the body line because it will create a hot spot on that body line. You either buff on one side of the body line and move like that, or you buff on this side of the body line and move like that. Very, very easy to do. Now that you know the tricks, we're going to talk about what we're going to do. We have 2 cameras set up in our studio today, and we're going to go ahead and show you the top view of this rotary polisher so you can get the proper technique around the entire vehicle. Now there's a lot of different pads and polishes combinations that you can use. I have a lot of different ones right here. There's red, black, blue, yellow, green, and orange. We also have a white pad right here. Today we're going to be using a white pad because this is all about technique. 90% of rotary polishing is technique. If you have the technique down, you're going to get great results because you're going to know how to control the machine and get the proper shine that you really want on your paint work. So I selected a white pad and we're going to use V36 to give the demonstration. In the next segment of this video, I want you to pay attention to the technique. Pay attention how I hold the machine. Also pay attention to my arm speed on how fast I use the machine. You don't want to be moving very fast, you want to move in a smooth, steady pattern, just like dancing. Always stay moving to prevent the paintwork and work in a 2x2 area. Once we show you on the upper cam, we're going to give you a good demonstration on how the machine can work over a small area, get the good results, and show you exactly how much product to use. So let me go grab my product, we'll get started, and we'll show you how to use the rotary polisher. So now let's show you the proper technique on how to use the rotary polisher. I got my machine all set up, got my polish ready, also got my hood prepped, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing you want to do is take your cord and put it over your shoulder. That's one of my main tips. The reason we do that is because we don't want our cord flapping on the hood, just like this. So we go ahead and we place the cord over the shoulder at all times. Now let's go ahead and take my polish. Now I'm going to use V36 polish for this. This is only a demonstration purposes. This isn't really to show you a before and after of machine polishing. It's to show you the technique of how to use the machine polisher. Let's go ahead and shake up the polish first. And now let's go ahead and apply dots. Now, applying the correct amount of dots is important. So I'm going to apply 5 to 6 small dots on my pad. There go 6 small dots to get us started. Now I'm also going to prime the pad with some Chemical Guys polishing pad conditioner. This polishing pad conditioner is going to make the pad soft and reduce the friction of when I first start on the polish. So let's pick up my polisher, hold it back, spray 2 sprays on the polishing pad, and now we're ready to get started. Now on your machine, you're going to want to turn your machine down to speed setting 1. On this machine, that's 600 RPMs. If you have a machine that's speed setting 1 at 1100 or 1000 RPMs, you can easily go ahead and do that as well. Both will work no problem. The main goal is that you're on the lowest setting that your machine can do. So I'm going to work in a 2x2 area. That's going to give me a nice feel of what I'm going to do and make sure I don't polish too much. You don't want to polish the whole hood in one shot. You want to do it in sections. So in this hood, the center, I would go right down the middle. It would be 1 section, 2 section, 3 section, 4 section. I'd change pads to do a 5th section and a 6th section. So now I'm going to go ahead and start polishing. Now first what I want to do with the rotary is I want to press my polish down. This is so you do not get any splatter over the hood. And then I'm going to turn my machine on off the vehicle and spread it around. Now I'm going to go ahead and bump my machine up to setting 18 to 1900 RPMs. On this machine, that's speed setting 5. If you have a Makita, a Hitachi, or a DeWalt polisher, or a lightweight flex, you're going to want to go ahead and turn it up to a higher speed or a lower speed number to achieve the same 1800 and 1900 speed. So now let's get started. I'm going to first turn my machine on off the paint, and then I'm going to talk you through all of our steps. Let's turn the machine on. Now I turn the machine on and I go ahead and place it on the hood. And I start moving. Now as you notice, I'm not putting any pressure on the top of the machine. No pressure at all. I'm also moving in a nice balanced pattern. Overlapping 50-50. That 50% overlap ensures that I get a nice even coverage. Now I'm working my way to the bottom of the hood. Now once I work to the bottom, I'm going to start going up. I change my direction. Now you notice I'm always moving and I'm putting no pressure on the machine. Look at the balance of the machine. The machine balances because I'm using the proper technique of the rotary polisher. It's that easy. Now you always want to use 2 hands on the rotary polisher, but you can see just with my finger and without barely holding the machine, with the right technique, you can easily polish the hood. Notice how it just floats right in my hand. I'm only holding it with 2 fingers right now. 1 finger on my right hand, 1 finger on my left, and you see how easy the machine moves around. Now I'm going to go and change directions one more time. And you can see the polish is turning clear. You can also see I'm not moving too slow or too fast, and I'm keeping it going. There we go. Good technique really does make all the difference in the machine. And notice how smooth I feel with the machine. I don't look tense. I don't feel tense. Become one with the machine. Now I'm going to do one last up and down pass. Pick my machine up and turn it right off. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and place my machine down for a moment. I'm going to go grab a microfiber towel and I'm going to remove any excess. Now notice that this hood has very little excess on the hood. So I can easily take my microfiber and gently wipe away any little bit of polish on the hood. Now your hood should feel slightly warm, but should not feel hot. The hood feels warm from the friction of the machine, but it does not burn my hand or feel overly hot. You want to make sure to feel the hood often to make sure it's not getting too warm. Now you saw it once, let's do it one more time. Grab the machine. I'm going to use a microfiber towel to set the machine down. If you're doing this on a car, you could set the machine down on a bench or a cart. You don't want to be setting it down on a vehicle, but since this video is for demonstration purposes, we're going to set it down so you can see it on camera. Now I'm going to shake up my polish. Once again, 5 to 6 dots over the polish on the pad. There we go. 6 dots is perfect. Pad conditioner. 2 sprays. Let's move my microfiber towel out of the way. And let's start again. Same spot, same technique. Cord over the shoulder. Machine on speed setting 1. I go ahead and spread out the polish over the vehicle. The goal of this is so I don't get splatter everywhere. Prevents splatter and keeps the polish on the paintwork. Now I'm going to spread it out. Now that my polish is spread out, I'm going to go ahead and bump my speed setting up to speed setting 5, which is 1800 RPMs. I'm going to turn my machine on and start polishing, and I'll talk it through you once again. Turn the machine on. Place it on the hood gently and then begin moving. As you can see, I'm holding the machine properly to where it balances itself even with one hand. I'm putting no pressure with this hand. Do not push on the machine. Only hold it and guide it. Changing the pattern to up and down. Once again, good technique. The machine can easily move itself around with very minimal effort. Now let's move left to right again. Notice the machine just float in the hand. Look at that. Minimal effort, minimal input. That's all about keeping the machine flat and level. Do not fight the machine. Become one with the machine. Let it connect with you. Change directions again, up and down. I'm letting the machine do the work. I'm not fighting the machine. I'm not doing the work. I'm letting the machine do the work. Notice I move my body. Move your body. Bend down. Change directions again. Last time. Once I come to the bottom, pick it up, machine off. Cord over the shoulder off. Set the machine down on a bench. Take my microfiber towel, and I'm going to buff off any residue. And you notice I'm not really buffing off any residue. It's only a very small amount on the edges and any light pad conditioner that came off the pad. And it's that easy. All we got to do is stay one with the machine and stay smooth technique. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the hood over, and we're going to go ahead and polish the small side with a smaller pad to show you exactly how it's done. So let me go grab a small pad and a small backing plate, and we'll go ahead and show you some more technique. So now you've seen the proper technique on how to use the rotary polisher on a large flat surface. This is great for polishing doors, trunks, roofs, or the sides of any type of vehicle that has a larger space. But now it's time to go to the smaller panels. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that people often make when starting out on a rotary polisher is they use a pad that's much too large on a surface that's much too small. So we're going to go ahead and change the pad and change the backing plate to make sure that we accommodate our rotary polisher in the right area. And we're going to be working on the side of this hood. On the side of the hood is a much smaller area, which is confined to a body line and an edge. So the 5.5-inch pad is going to have a little bit of overhang, and that's a big no-no. You don't want to do that on a rotary polisher. You want to have no overhang if possible. So I'm going to take my machine, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the backing plate. Okay? This is one of our Chemical Guys Evolve 4R rotary backing plates with a Hex-Logic pad. Now I'm going to go ahead and install one of our Evolve 4R 3-inch backing plates. This is going to give us a much more controlled surface with the machine. There we go. Now it's on there nice and tight. Now I'm going to take one of our Chemical Guys 4-inch pads, and I'm going to place it on the machine. I'm going to try and get it as centered as possible. There we go, and now we're ready to start. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my V36 and give it a good shake, and I'm going to put 4 dots on my pad. There we go. Now once again, 2 sprays of pad conditioner is going to get me started. And now let's go ahead and do the whole side of this hood. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this side of the hood, and since it's a smaller area, I'm going to do the whole area in one pass. So I'm going to first take my machine, spread it out over the hood. I'm going to turn my machine on speed setting 1, 600 RPMs. Spread it out. Now I'm going to bump my machine speed up to the higher setting. Now with a 5.5-inch pad, I was using 1800 RPM setting 5, but since this is a smaller pad, it needs to go to a higher speed to achieve the same RPMs as the 5.5-inch pad. So I'm going to bump it up to speed setting 5.5. That should give me the power to polish the hood. So just like the 5.5-inch pad on the flat surface, I'm going to be using the 4-inch pad to go over the surface completely and easily. So let's go ahead and turn the machine on and go ahead and polish the exact same way. I'll talk you through every step. Now I'm going to work in this small area the best I can. Okay? I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going to try and do this side first. Okay, I'm going The 4-inch pad is a little bit harder to control, but once you get the hang of it, it's as easy. You can see I can control it with one hand because I have perfect balance on the machine. Notice I'm not going over the body line. I'm using the edge of the pad to perfectly polish that line. I'm also going right to the edge, but I'm not going over the edge. I'll change my direction. So now I've gone ahead and made the whole polish clear. I'm going to do one more pass. Pick the machine up and turn it off. I'm going to set my machine down, grab a microfiber towel, and I'm going to gently buff off any polish. And you notice there's very little polish to remove. If you're removing a lot of polish, you're having to take off a lot of excess polish, you're using too much. So reduce the amount of polish that you're using. If you use the correct amount of any of our V-line of polishes, there should be very little, if no residue, on the vehicle. So use the right amount of polish and you'll be great. Just remember, even when using a 3-inch pad or a 4-inch pad, do not angle the buffer. No, no. Hold it perfectly level. If you hold it perfectly level all the time, you'll be able to get that proper balance where the machine just flows in your hand, and I'm only holding it with 2 fingers. Look at that. 2 fingers can control the entire machine. That easy. This is only because I'm able to hold the machine perfectly flat without any issues. It takes practice, but once you have the practice down, it floats in your hand like nothing. Very easy machine to use. Now you've got a taste, and hopefully you guys have taken a lot of information from my rotary polishing technique. I've been rotary polishing for a lot of years now, and I want to hopefully help my experience with a rotary polisher, help your experience, and help you gain the knowledge to get the job done right anytime. If you want to check out more videos on how to do polishing with dual action or machine polishers like the rotary polisher, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have over 450 YouTube videos on how to detail everything, including machine polishing and detailing things like cars, trucks, motorcycles, and even airplanes. If you want to check out everything we use in the video, go log on to our website, chemicalguys.com, where you can purchase any of our products, including our V36 polish, our Hex-Logic pads, and Flex rotary and dual action polishers. If you want to learn more about polishing, be sure to subscribe and sign on to our forum, chemicalguysforum.com. But always remember to have fun, stay clean, and keep on detailing.